Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Friday. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Friday, guys. So, guys, I'm responding to an email from a good brother who wanted me to make a recording on why do people fumble the chosen ones. He's having a hard time trying to decipher, he says, trying to understand that if people know that we're rare, why do people fumble the chosen ones? Because as chosen ones, we know when we meet good people, we're going to like lock you down. You're not going anywhere, honey. We're going to treat you so good, right? So why is it that other people don't get the concept? If we know that most people in the world are evil, are selfish, etc., then why won't common sense tell a person to honor, value, respect a chosen one? He says he is a great man in the sense of providing, protecting, faithful, things like that, that traditional family man mindset. But it seems like the women that he meets, either they cheat on him, maybe they run off when he challenges them. One even went back to her dusty, quote unquote, dusty, dusty ex-boyfriend who absolutely have nothing going for himself. And here he is over here with stability. Okay, so if I'm honest, I can probably make a 5-hour recording on this topic, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to plug in and insert a few of my opinions, and then maybe sometime next week or the week after, I'll make a part 2, maybe even a part 3, because there's a lot that I can really say on this topic. Okay, so let's start with the fact that these are not in any particular order. I don't even know how many I'm going to insert in here, but let's start with the fact that as chosen people, a lot of the times where we can go wrong at is because we have all this healing energy, all this safe feeling, then sometimes we attract troubled souls. Now, it's not to say we're not troubled souls, because many times the chosen people are troubled souls. It's just that we're graced to do certain things. But if you're not careful, you will tend to think that just because you attract a certain kind of person, right? Many chosen people have that savior complex. Then you will think that everybody you meet is somebody you're supposed to be in a relationship with. So what happens? We end up dating assignments. We end up dating people that maybe God placed us in their life as a vessel, right, to help lead them to God, for they can complete their process. So a lot of the times we're dating the wrong people. We're dating projects. So the higher you go and the more your process on this journey, you will come to a place where you realize that the only person who's going to probably work for you is another chosen person who is healed and who is whole. It doesn't mean they're perfect at all. It just means that they've already leveled up. They've already put the work in like you have, brother. And so when you meet another chosen woman, she's going to recognize your value. She's going to respect you because she knows what it is to level up. She knows the intensity of how difficult it is to level up. So she's going to respect you at that level. So that's one. We have to be intentional and take accountability about the people that we are catching feelings for, not putting up certain boundaries, or not walking away on first, second, third attempts. Not attempts, afflictions. I'm sorry, guys, I'm tired. Next, sometimes people can recognize you, right? They see you. They know that you're rare. This is why I chose the one you always hear. You always hear, right? You're rare. You're a jewel. You're an angel. You're this, and that. So they recognize it. They acknowledge it. They understand that you're different. They understand that you have a pure spirit. They understand that you're really set apart and you're not like every other person. But there's a difference between recognizing something and then having the wisdom and the knowledge to honor it. You can recognize it, but it doesn't mean you have the wisdom on how to honor that thing, right? That's completely different. And a lot of the times that doesn't really come right away. That comes through growth, and things that you learn along the way. Again, once you go through your own process and you understand how difficult that process is, so when you encounter other people, there's just a natural ability in you to honor, to respect, and value the people that God have sent to you when they're good people. So they can see it, they can acknowledge it, but they just don't have the wisdom on how to really sustain it, if you will. Next. Because chosen people have these big, huge hearts, right? We know that. Everybody knows it, right? We just have these big, huge hearts that God have blessed us with, right? Granted, we have to learn how to manage it through wisdom and discernment. We have to learn how to manage it. But because we have these big, huge hearts, they think we will never leave. Because remember, we're chosen people. Typically, we are the people who don't give up on people too fast. Like the average person, when a person is out for self, just your regular person, not chosen people, everybody's really out for self, right? With what they can get. They don't care about other people. But as a chosen person, you genuinely care about other people. This is why you don't judge people on where they are. Meaning you're not going to judge somebody because they're in a low season. You're not going to judge somebody because they had a bad past. You're not going to judge somebody because maybe other people think they're a failure. No, you don't even see that. When other people see their past or their flaws or their character, right? You might can see it. You're going to see character because you've been already processed to understand the importance of character. So you're going to acknowledge some flaws in their character, but the point is you're not going to treat them any differently. You're not going to treat them like other people treat them. So because we constantly love on, accept, pour in, support, encourage, right? Maybe give 2, 3, 4 chances. Let's be clear. It depends on what the affliction is, because some affliction is going to get you boot on the first time, right? But we try to really work with people. And so what will happen is people will get comfortable with that. So they'll see it as, well, wow, this person has a big heart. So it's going to hurt them to leave me because their heart is so big. Really? Okay. One thing you don't want to do, is get a chosen person to the point that they take their heart out of the situation. And not heart as in, because you're going to always care. That's just in us. But heart in the sense of trying to really, really work with you. Because first of all, we already know that the average person, other people, are going to leave you because what you can't even do for them. So we're looking at it like, listen, like we got your back even when no one else have your back. So we'll get to the point like, okay, but I'm sticking around trying to really prove and show you that we have the kind of love that God has for people. Right? So at some point, we'll get this aha moment, like, you're really playing with me, right? You're really playing with me. So when a chosen person leaves, they leave for good because they've already been in it long enough where it has built and built and built and built. Where your average person who's not a chosen person and maybe just a selfish person, they're going to walk out on the first time that they realize they can't get anything from you. The minute you hit the down season, they're out because their heart is not in it. Their heart is not even pure. So once they realize that there's nothing else you can do for them, right? They're going to leave you in your darkest time. They're going to walk out on your lowest season. So with them, they typically come back. And guess when they come back? They come back once you already level back up. So once you're back on your feet, now they're coming back. But sadly, people are conditioned to respect more and go after the people who treat them like crap. This is why women have to be very, very, very careful and very discerning when you are dating men in a very low season. All right. I'm not speaking about assignments. I'm not speaking about destiny helpers. I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about full-blown relationships, partnerships, even marriage. This is not for all men, right? This is definitely not for all men. So get in where you fit in. But sometimes when you're dating somebody in a very, very, very low season, sometimes they're only dealing with you because they are in a low season. But truly, 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 if the woman that they really love, which is going to be typically the woman who probably left them when they lost everything, the minute he gets back up on his feet, when that other woman attempts to return, he'll leave you. So you have to be very, very, very discerning. This is why you have to stay tapped in and stop allowing men to just give you words and you fall in love with his words. Absolutely not, sir. Actions, discernment, right? Next. What did I just got off? Oh yeah, so because of your big heart, they just think you'll never leave. Honey, please take notes. Please take notes. Good heart or no good heart. A chosen person will leave you on sight. Never get it twisted thinking big-hearted people are too big-hearted to leave you. Oh, okay. Find somebody else to play with. Find somebody else to do it. Next, they get comfortable. And that can tie in with that. That's just the average person. Sometimes people just get comfortable, right? When women and men, whoever, right? People just tend to get comfortable when people have been in your life for some time. It's almost like you can know this person is rare. You can know this person is God sent. But then at some point you get comfortable and you just get into expected mode as if this is just normal. No, a chosen person being in your life is not normal. You don't get comfortable with that because you're going to feel it when they remove themselves from your life. That's how you know, right? It's not common. Why didn't you, when a chosen person is in someone's life, the other person feels safe. They feel, guys, please. They feel safe. They feel encouraged. Their spirit is ignited because we just have, again, is God working through us. So we just naturally have an ability to make people feel like they can conquer the world, etc., etc. Okay, so why are you trying to place us on a common level? Did you feel that way with your exes? Right? Let it be an ex-wife or ex-partner or ex-husband, or would you even feel that way with the person that comes after us? Absolutely not. We're not common. We're not common, so you can't get comfortable with us, right? And sometimes it takes intentionality. As human beings, we have a tendency to get comfortable. It's intentionality, right? When I get comfortable, I have to remind myself, like, listen, no, this is rare. So let me tighten my game up. Right? If I'm slipping, let me ask questions to see, is there anything, do we need to have a meeting of the minds? Right? Because I know when it comes to chosen people, I know how rare they are. So I'm going to do everything in my power, even if it feels like a second job. I'm going to do everything in my power to be sure that I'm doing my part. And if I'm not doing my part, I'm open enough to receive and attempt to correct whatever the complaint may be. Right? It's just different. It's just different. Next. Another thing that happens, they assume the favor that's under your umbrella, meaning once a chosen person enters your life, it's like your life starts to take off. There's like opportunities start to present itself. There's a high in your spirit. Like you're starting to just get blessed in different areas. It's because you're under our umbrella of grace. So they assume that when you leave, that's going to continue. That's not how it works. You're under the chosen one's umbrella. And not to say they can't have their own umbrella, but they got to put the work in to get that, right? So they assume that when you leave, the way they've been blessed with you, and not just by you, I mean, as a chosen person, you have the spirit that you can call other people in to help bless them. It is all connected. So once the chosen person leaves you and that umbrella is let down, so is that favor that came with it. This is why many people shift back to the very season that they were in prior to the chosen one encountering them. So it's like God sent the chosen one to help you to elevate and increase. And so all this favor is coming in all at one time, but you fumble them, you don't respect them, you don't honor them. So when God taps them and say, all right, enough is enough, let's go. Once God shifts them and moves them, he shifts and moves that favor. So they assume that because they're on the high, okay. Now, this can go back to what I was saying earlier in regards to potentially dating somebody in a very, very down season, and maybe they went through a breakup or a divorce because the other woman or the other man left them while they were in a down season. So now they come up, right, with your favor. They're under your umbrella. You help them rise up. Everything is going great in their life now. And now because they're on their feet, and now the person who walked away from them come back, sadly, there's a great chance that the person will accept them back in, because remember, love is love, right? In this person's mind, they hurt and betrayed you and let you go to let the other person back in. They assume because they're up on their feet, because you help them get them up on their feet, that's going to stay. Oh, no. Oh, once the chosen person goes, so does the favor. So you may be up on your feet for a minute because you still have the residue of being under our umbrella. But once we move, you're going to see a shift where you get thrown back to your prior dry season, because the favor was always with the chosen ones. So you think God is going to allow you to betray a chosen, God-sent vessel where the favor is attached? You betrayed them, you used them, you manipulate, you did whatever you did, and you go on back to a person who never even wanted you, who left you in your down season, who was always heartless. You think God is going to allow that kind of favor or residue to transfer and stay? It may transfer, but it will be a very, very brief transfer. And I know many of you guys who are listening can vouch for that, where someone betrayed you, fumbled you, went back to ex who never cared anything about them. They were up on their feet because of your help, and now they lost it all again. Not only have they lost it all again, the person left them too. Think it's a game. It's rules to this thing. Get in where you fit in. Next, this is very common. Other people make it very difficult for you, for the chosen one. Other people makes it difficult for the chosen one, meaning other people don't hold people accountable. So, it could be a man or a woman. Okay, so every other person they meet don't demand and require respect. Every other person they meet because the other person, if they're not chosen, they don't even know who they are, right? They don't even have value. They have nothing in the sense of valuable things I'm speaking about, like chosen people carry, right? Like gifts and things like that. I'm not speaking anything physical, because they can be very physically beautiful. They can be very physically handsome, but there's nothing else internal. There's no intelligence. There's no common sense. None of that stuff. So the other person don't even have the value or the confidence or the awareness to hold them accountable. So they deal with all kind of foolishness. This is why, let's just say it's a man or a woman, they've cheated on every single person they've been with, right? It is what it is. I'm not saying no judgment. They cheated on every person they've been with. Now, if they come to you and they meet a chosen person who's going to hold them accountable, right? Who's going to challenge them, because it's iron sharpening iron. You challenge each other because you're growing together. If every person before you have allowed them to just do whatever with zero consequences, then it's almost natural for them to think that you're the same way. So they don't even know any better until you teach them better. They don't know any better. So other people makes it hard for you, because most people, right, the majority of people are not chosen. We're a very small percentage of people. So now you got people coming to you and they think they can move with you like they move with the last people. For real? You will be replaced tomorrow. Find somebody else to do it. We got choices. We are chosen. Period. Next. Where am I? I don't even know. I think I kind of maybe alluded to this earlier, but at the end of the day, like this is a growth. This is a process, right? It's a journey. So we learn as we go. So if you're meeting somebody who maybe just answered their call, or they're kind of just they're stuck in their own ways type of thing, and they're not flexible, right? God is really trying to work on certain things, their character, things like that. They're not flexible. So they just don't know how. Like how it should be common sense, but it's just common sense is not common to everybody. So they really just don't know how. So the key here is for them to be pliable, to be flexible, just like you, meaning we're growing, we're learning. The same thing with us, right? We have to still learn some things from them. There's certain things that, because we are not perfect. There's still areas that we have to work on and adjust to. The problem is most chosen people are very well aware, or should be very well aware, that we have a lot more to learn. So we have to be fluid, and we have to be willing to make certain changes. But then with some people, they're stuck in their ways, meaning you can't tell them anything. They really can't even hear you. Well, you can't. That's not going to work, right? Because as a chosen person, you know how much we learn on this journey. You know how much the Holy Spirit have taught us about honor, respect, value. So we learn this along the way, the higher and the higher and the higher and the higher we go. Well, maybe they haven't been through that process yet. And that's okay. It is what it is, right? Everybody goes through their process at a different time. But if you're not flexible, if you're not fluid to attempt to hear someone else trying to help you, that's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. The next, I think I only have two more. Actually, I guess I just tie. Well, no, I have one more. I guess I'll just tie that last one in regards to the chosen one gets burnt out, right? Because people are not fluid, and because they're not pliable. So what happens is God will place you in a person's life, or vice versa. However, the encounter happened. And again, we have grace. God blesses us with grace to try to help, try to assist. But if the person is, casting your pearls to swines? If the person, after a while, if you realize that there's no movement there, it's like so what happens is you get stressed out because they're not willing to even learn, right? They're not willing to put the work in. It's like everything you say goes on deaf ears. So what'll happen is the chosen person will get burnt out, because they know that God has given them a certain kind of grace and patience to deal with you, right? Respectfully, whatever God wants to do. But once the chosen person realizes that there's no hope, they'll get burnt out. And even if they don't leave right away, it's only because they don't have that spiritual release yet. God is telling them something like, don't give up on them just yet. Give it a little more time. But once God hits them with that release button and tell them, all right, listen, I'm not going to have you all stressed out over here, because I really need you over here to reach the people who are willing to learn. I've been very transparent. That happened to me one time before, honey. I don't even know if she's listening today, honey, but I got a good sis who I love, 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 love to pieces. And I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago, she's much more inclined in every area than myself. I won't say every area, but whatever. There's no competition. There's check and balances with us. And I know without a doubt, God has sent her to really help me in a certain area, honey. But it's like I would challenge her. And mind you, she had the evidence. She had the fruit. So obviously her way was the way that works. But no, pride will sit here having you think that you know everything and that nobody can tell you nothing. Or if somebody tells you something, you're not going to apply it because this, that, and the third. Okay, if you know what you're doing, then why hasn't your way worked? If you really know what you're doing, if you know it all, why hasn't your way worked? But their way worked. And honey, I just think one day she had just, she didn't say nothing, but I can feel in my spirit that she was starting to pull away. And God woke me up real, real, real quick with that. So much so that when I would see other people trying to not really take in her wisdom, I would cut them off and check them because I know what God had already revealed to me. So by me submitting to the Holy Spirit to close my mouth and to apply the wisdom that she shared with me, instantly growth, instantly open doors, instantly blessings. But now what would have happened if God had tapped her and said, listen, don't answer that phone no more. Don't even respond no more. It's watering dead grass. There is no hope there, right? Child, I would have stayed stuck at a certain level at that time. And it's not that I wanted to challenge her. It's just that you don't even know any better. Because what happens is you're only at your current level, right? So you think, and you may have already reached the cap at your current level. Remember, there's seasons, there's stages. So each stage, each season, you can reach the fullness potential of your potential, meaning you've maxed that level out. So at that level, you think you know everything because maybe you have success in this area. So this is an area where you feel like you know it all because other people really come to you. But okay, it's like school. Once you graduate from one grade, or even let's say elementary or middle or high. Okay, you can't, once you get to 8th grade in middle school, okay, that's your cap. That's your cap. But now once you go to high school, starting at 9th grade, you got to learn all over again. So each season, you have to humble yourself because you're going back to school. Each season, you have to learn because each level, there's more and more and more and more. This is why when you meet chosen people who really hit some levels, coming to mind right now is Pastor R.C. Blake's popping up in my mind right now. This is why when you meet chosen people who reach certain heights, they're the most humble people you will ever meet. Yet they're the most successful. Because they know. It's so much that they know. They know that they have a lot more to learn. They know that everything they have is not theirs and it all belongs to God, right? They know that maybe they had at some time some kind of prideful season and they lost it all. So God teaches you to be humble. They know that when God brings other chosen people, destiny helpers, people who are more spiritually inclined than them, they know that they have to humble themselves, close their mouth, take that wisdom in, even if the person is younger than you. That if that person already scaled some heights, it's a whole process to this thing, and it don't feel good. Because sometimes you're going to really think that you know it all for real, and then you're going to realize you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. So this is why you see chosen people who typically are always giving God the glory, are very humble, are willing to help much people because they done been through some things. They have the experiences. So, my brother, my sisters, those are a few reasons on why people fumble chosen people. But at the end of the day, here's the thing: as chosen people, you know the work you put in, right? You know you're not average. So never, ever, ever should you be in anybody line up for them to try to choose or compare you with other people. You are not normal. You are not average. So when it comes down to competing, you don't chase, you attract. You don't compete, you replace. If people cannot see, and they can call you difficult, they can call you whatever they want to call you, right? It really should be a compliment. Because absolutely, because if I allow you access to my life, I'm going to change your life. So, or you're going to have to put the work in, point blank, period. Period. So if you're dealing, so good for you, my brother, for walking away and making your mind up that you're never turning back. But if you're a chosen person and you're still dealing with someone disrespecting you over and over, especially in the form of things like cheating and stuff like that, listen, you got some work to put in. Not a bad thing, right? Because remember, it's a journey. You go higher and higher. So you got some more work to put in, but be gentle with yourself because naturally, right? If you submit to the Holy Spirit, if you submit to your process, naturally you will get to a place where you know what you carry. You know what you carry. So everybody can't have that kind of access to you. So when they play with you one too many times, if they're playing in your face, you replace them. And that doesn't even mean new, right? Because that's not what we do. I mean, we're already whole. So we're not trying to like replace in the sense of trying to, no. I don't mean that, right? I'm just speaking in general here. Absolutely. By tomorrow. You guys have a great weekend. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.